All right, you're still locked into the Ultimate Morning Show on Ray Power 100.5 FM. Once again, good morning. This is 38 minutes past 7. It's time for us to take a look at what the dailies are saying. It is day 8 in the month of June. My name is Chooks. Starting off with the front page of the Daily Monitor, we have FG won't surrender to terrorists. Bandits. Tinubu assures Nigerians. Says, safe return of all persons in captivity a national priority. Urges Nigerians to reject violent hate campaigns, divisive rhetoric ahead of 2027 polls. Starts on the front page and continues on page 2. PDP crisis, Wabara, Babangida Aliyu, Jerry Ghana, others sue INEC, seek recognition. Starts on the front page, continues on page 2. Atiku would have won 2027 presidency if he supported Obi in 2023. That's coming from Baba Ahmed on page 2. Insecurity, Nigeria does not belong to kidnappers, says Opebolo on page 9. Northeast, Army rescues 360 abducted women, children in Gwoza, page 8. Nigeria targets illegal fishing with 59 million euro EU ocean program, page 5. Above the nameplate of the Daily Monitor, we have police confirm safe rescue of Adelabu's sister, twin sons. Arrest 4 suspects linked to ex-power minister sister's abduction. Adelabu family thanks security agencies. Starts on the front page, continues on page 2. Army confirms rescue of 360 captives from terrorists in Borno. Troops intensify hunts for suspects in Plateau, Kaduna. Starts on the front page and continues on page 2. JAMB opens portal for printing of 2026 mop-up UTME examination slips, page 6. Nigeria will never surrender to terror, banditry, Tinubu on page 7. Umahi threatens sanctions for non-performing contractors, page 4. Reps recover 521.7 million naira unremitted VAT from CBN, page 9. APC releases list of cleared senatorial candidates as primaries continue, page 2. NDLEA nabs 75-year-old suspects, intercepts tramadol concealed in building materials, page 9. First Lady empowers 1,000 petty traders in FCT community, page 6. Electricity shortfall, NEC approves compensation for Band A customers, page 11. So the Daily Independent now. How Middle East crisis is driving up inflation costs in Nigeria. That's on the front page and continues on page 29. PDP BOT sues INEC, demands recognition of Taminu Turaki-led NWC there, page 6. $25 billion Nigeria-Morocco gas pipeline faces financial security hurdles. Starts on the front page, continues on page 29. Police arrest 4 suspects linked to abduction of Adelabu's sister, page 29. Atiku mocks Babachir Lawal over alleged failed ADC primary rigging plot, page 29. Tinubu intensifying efforts to ease economic hardship. That's coming from George Akume. Vows FG won't bow to terrorist bandits, page 7. Above the nameplate of the Daily Independent, troops rescue 360 abducted women, children in Gwoza. Starts on the front page, continues on page 4. Court declares NAS a 110 billion vehicle allowance schemes unlawful. Starts on the front page, continues on page 7. Now to the Standard Times. We have Nigeria will never surrender to terrorists, bandits, vows Tinubu, page 2 of the Standard Times there. A bit of business here. Foreign investment in telecom sector falls by 91% despite tariff hike on page 13. Banks raise Naira card spending limits abroad as FX inflows improve, page 13. NCC applauds ministerial initiative on girls' ICT empowerment, page 3. We also have TCN grants mainstream site access for construction of 2x33 0 kV base in Kainji substation, page 13. Insecurity, Nigeria does not belong to kidnappers, says Opebulo, page 4. NCC applauds ministerial initiative on girls' ICT empowerment, page 3. Boko Haram frees 416 abducted Ngoshe women, children, page 4. And we also have court declares National Assembly's 110 billion naira SUV and allowance schemes unlawful, on page 3. To the Observer's Times, 360 hostages freed from terrorist enclave. Army confirms daring special forces raid in Goza after weeks of covert tracking, page 1. FCCPC suspends enforcement of digital non-traditional lending regulations, page 4. Truckload of hidden drugs busted as NDLEA arrests grandfather, page 5. Troops for kidnapping attempts rescue 8 victims in Plateau, Kaduna, page 6. Bauchi, Gombe, Jigawa initiates 20 billion naira hospital upgrade projects. That is on page 7. 2027 polls. I know Nigerians are angry, but things can be corrected. That's coming from Ndume on page 8. Sani Badarus can hail Tinubu's education reforms to fight banditry. Starts on the front page, continues on page 2. An FG to repatriate over 1,000 Nigerians from South Africa, page 3. To the Daily Sun. Government won't surrender to terrorists, bandits. That's coming from the president. Says recent attacks, abductions are painful reminders that more work remains to be done. And that is on page 6. PDP crisis, Wabara, Babangida Aliyu, Jerry Gana, others sue INEC, seek recognition, page 6. Katsina government raises hope on rescue of abducted General Rabe wife, page 8. ADC leadership crisis, court begins accelerated hearing, page 26. NAS, INEC stooges of executive, Anglican bishop there speaking, tasks election umpire to regain confidence of Nigerians through credible elections, on page 26. Xenophobic attacks, FG to airlift over 500 Nigerians from South Africa, and that's the front page read. Opposition reps close ranks to challenge Tinubu's legislative agenda. House leadership not involved in minority caucus crisis. That's coming from the spokesman on page 8. Moving on to the leadership newspaper. Abducted Borno people's parents urge Tinubu Zulum to hasten rescue efforts, page 4. Katsina steps up efforts to rescue retired General Rabe wife, others, page 16. Troops rescued 360 Boko Haram captives in Borno, page 4. Iran hits Israel with missiles in major ceasefire tests, page 30. Banks commit 147.52 trillion naira credits to all sector as manufacturing lending slumps, page 17. Oyo abduction, Air Force deploys surveillance aircrafts, page 27. Unclaimed dividends hit 242 billion naira. Exposed gaps in records. Starts on the front page, continues on page 7. To the Nigerian News Direct. Court declares National Assembly's 110 billion naira SUV allowances schemes unlawful. CPPE urges House of Reps to reject sugar beverage tax bill. That is on the page of the Nigerian News Direct. You can check that on page 8. NDLEA arrests 4 female drug dealers across 4 states. That is on page 7. Nigeria eyes 59 million euros EU funds to tackle illegal fishing in 7 Gulf of Guinea. Page 23. FG commissions 20 megawatts mini grid project in Kogi, page 1. Oshun 2026. Omishore, Famurewa, others not defecting to accord. That's on page 7. Sanwo-Olu, Oyedele, others to speak at Invest Lagos Summit 3.0, page 6. And that's it for the front pages this morning. We're going to short break and return with the business side of things. Do stay with us.
This is the newspaper review.
Welcome back, and now taking a look at the business diary. We have FG states mom as traders turn rail tracks into markets. Starts on the front page, continues on page 2. Center urges reps to reject sugar beverage tax bill, page 7. Nigeria's capital importation hits $10.37 billion in Q1 2026. That is on page 8. Equities investments dipped by 4.99 trillion naira in weekly loss, page 9. CBN drains 3.04 trillion naira in one day as investors besiege OMO markets on page 4. And that's it for the business diary. That's it for the papers this morning. We took a look at the Daily Monitor, the Authority newspaper. We looked at the Daily Independent, Standard Times, Observers Times, as well as the Daily Sun, Leadership, and Nigeria News Direct. And starting off with the rescue/kidnapping stories on the front pages. Former Minister of Power, Adelabu's, sister, twin sons rescued. Well, kudos to the, police authorities for that one, security operatives. But we also set a reminder for them that we still have children, Nigerian children, in the hands of captives in Oyo State. That's more than 2 weeks now. And we're going to be celebrating, June 12th, very, very soon. So I think it was Zamfara last week in the federal school, the Polytechnic or thereabout last week as well. We still have, I think, 7 of them, if I'm not, reducing the figures. There are 7 of them as well kidnapped. We still have, pockets of kidnapping, people that also need rescuing, not just those who are, in affluence and in the top 1% of the society. There are still people as well, in the hands of kidnappers, and you're still retracing. That is still on the front pages, as well this morning. So as they've done one, rescued some certain individuals, please as well put a whole lot of efforts to rescuing others. And we still have children. When you rescued, children as well, we still need you to do the same with these children as well who are still kidnapped. But it's also a good one that over 300, have been rescued from the hands of Boko Haram as well. So kudos once again to the Nigerian security operatives for that one. But we still implore you to do more. As the president said on the front pages, these attacks we're seeing still shows that there's still so much work that needs to be done. Even as we're confirming rescue of 360 captives, from terrorists in Borno, there's so much work to be done. I mean, this morning on Talking Point at 6:30 a.m., I had a caller calling to remind me of what happened in his community last year. I think also his own brother as well was involved in an incident as well like that. Happened earlier again, this year in his own community. I think he said somebody behind his street was also kidnapped from his home. And then on Friday as well, somebody in his community was also kidnapped. From his home, that he had never had, that kind of amount of gunshots before in his life, that his kids were traumatized. They couldn't go to school, on Friday, that he's also scared for himself. The community is scared for, its people. And before that incident happened, they saw suspicious activities a day before, which is Thursday, thereabouts. There were over 20 of them, with guns, wielding such guns. So it's just a sad one, indeed, that it is happening around the FCT. It's around the FCT. It's very sad that it's happening in Nigeria in different parts, and it just shows you that it's closer than you think. These incidents are really closer than we actually think. So we implore security operatives, to double up the effort, to triple the efforts, and also response time. That's another thing we keep talking about. Their response time is very important. He complained that they reached out to the police at past 10, and the police were coming at past 2 to 3 in the morning. So the response time as well is very important. It's paramount to also safeguarding people's lives and property as well. So we also need them to double up on that front. So this is also an appeal, to security operatives this morning. Also an appeal to President Bola Tinubu, as he has said that there's so much to be done in terms of work against insecurity, that they as well putting, the right mechanisms, the right policies, materials needed to tackle insecurity head on as well. So we just hope that very soon insecurity will be a thing of the past. Well, this morning, most of these stories, make a reoccurrence on the papers, with the one that the court ruled that the National Assembly's 110 billion naira SUV allowance scheme illegal, self-serving. I mean, Nigerians are going through a whole lot. Nigerians are suffering as it is, economic-wise, security-wise. A lot of people probably eat 1 meal a day. Some don't even know when their next meal is going to come from. A lot of people don't even have jobs. Some who even have jobs are not even paid well. Everything is just topsy-turvy. Yesterday, I was saying how a liter of kerosene currently goes for 4,000 naira. And I was thinking, kerosene used to be the thing that the average Nigerian could just use, could just access, buy, and use. You have your stove, you put your kerosene in the stove. I mean, it was just that simple. But now it's going for 4,000 naira for a liter. I mean, that was just, really tough to take. And then, petrol, 1,004, cooking gas now, 2,500 naira per kg. So a whole lot is just going on when it comes to the energy sector, affecting the money in your pocket as well. And we had just a few people wanting to get SUVs for 110 billion. I mean, it's just something that you just have to weigh and look at it. I'm like, why are we having, this? Why do our leaders want to, be lavish with their spending while people are tightening their belts, turning their pockets inside out to just get by? When looking at the headline from the Business NG there, NAS 110 billion SUV allowance scheme illegal, self-serving. That self-serving here, very important, and court declared. So please to our political leaders, office holders, please, this is not the time for anybody to be using 110 billion or 100 and something billion or something. This is a billion, to buy cars for themselves. When we keep hearing that the economy, is struggling to grow, their policies, turning things around. Nigeria doesn't have that money to spend and all. But those at the top want to eat the cake, just fist on it. So very important that the court, did rule as such. And, we just hope that going forward, we will have more empathetic leaders who are not disconnected from the reality of what is modern day Nigeria. Well, this morning, you can pick up any of the dailies. You have an insight into all of the trending stories as well. The ADC still having their back and forth. Article mocking Babachir Lawal over alleged failed ADC primary rigging plot. We're still in the political, season. A lot of things still coming up when it comes to politicking. Well, so from Standard Times, banks raise Naira card spending limits abroad as FX inflows improve. So that's a good one for those who use their cards for international transaction, for those as well who are, traveling out of the country as well. So another good one. Well, we looked at so many papers this morning: the Daily Monitor, the Authority newspaper, the Daily Independent, the Standard Times, Observer's Times, the Daily Sun. We also looked at the Leadership newspaper. We also looked at the front page of Nigeria News Direct as well. So any of these papers, has all of the trending stories for you. Well, in a bit of sports, with what happened with Christian Eriksen yesterday, I just, really hope that he gets to retire after that. I think it would be irresponsible, even for the Danish FA, to agree for him to play a match at the World Cup. He can go maybe in a supporting capacity, but playing a match, I think it would be really irresponsible. It's happened in the past. We're scared. He wasn't even allowed to play in the Serie A anymore because the Serie A has rules like that. If you have a heart problem on the field of play, you cannot play in the Italian Serie A. So hopefully he will be cautious about things. Also, congratulations to Alexander Zverev, who won his first Grand Slam at Roland Garros. Yeah, so his first Roland Garros title, his name getting on the famous Roland Garros wall there. So congratulations to him. Absolutely deserving. Long match over 5 sets, so it wasn't easy in any way for Alexander Zverev. The Formula One season as well is still on. Lewis Hamilton getting a podium finish yesterday in second place with Kim Kardashian watching on the side. Yes, they are in love. They absolutely are. So congratulations to Lewis Hamilton there for finishing in the top 3. So podium finish, good one. Currently 18 points on board for him. Nikki of Mercedes winning that race as well. Currently with 25 points on board. Well, that's it for the newspaper review and sports. My name is Chuck. Still the ultimate morning show on Ray Power 100.5 FM. Keep it locked. Don't go anywhere. News will be coming through at 8. We also have a political platform at 9 a.m., which you can stream live on YouTube, Ray Power Abuja. And then Fact File in between that at 8:30 a.m. Good morning.
Providing 360 degrees of information.